stories are super important. And first we're going to have Akila Parker come up. She's been active with Texas Norml for several years, and she manages our calendar. She keeps us all organized. All right, Akila.
Well, hello. Hello. There's lots of you. Hi, my name is Akila. I'm not. Oh, wrong room. Sorry. My name is Akila, and I am an advisor to the board and have been for about a year now. So why do I support marijuana legalization? It's fundamentally simple for me. It's a plant. Duh. But then I think back to the first time and my first experience with cannabis, smoking marijuana. I was in middle school, and I don't recall the exact particulars of it. I remember not doing it well, coughing, and then immediately being like, I'm gonna take a nap. And that was it. Fast forward to later on in life, you hear as a young person that marijuana is a gateway drug and it's bad and you're gonna ruin your life and there's lazy potheads and they do this and they're unmotivated. And I heard a lot of negative connotations. But as a misguided young person, I still have to experiment and figure out things on my own, as most of us do. So I did some individual research, and I found out as a young adult that my cannabis use leads to lots of food intake, lots of chatty conversations. Hello, how are you? It's nice to meet you. What's going on? Those shoes are great. How's it going? That's it. And now fast forward into my adult life, my professional life, my activist life. I'm an activist today because of you. Because of you. Because of you. I'm a cannabis activist because of you. Because there's no reason in the world that if something medically happens to you, or not medically, something you enjoy that grows out of the ground, why can't you enjoy it? Is it harmful? I've made some ill choices and some negative behaviors associated with cannabis, but that was of my own making. That was not of a plant's making. See where I'm going? It was of my own making. So I'm an activist because it is a plant, it is a substance. If it's medicinal, if it's useful, if it's beneficial, which we see the research. I've done some research of my own, and I've come to my own conclusions that it is medicine. That if my mother finds out tomorrow that she has cancer, I want her to be able to have the option to tell her doctor, I want to try something healthy. I want to try something that's not manufactured or made or cooked up or you've put together. Give me something that grows. Give me some acupuncture. Give me some yoga. Give me some Pilates. Give me some spiritual meditation. Give me some herbs. Give me life. Give me breath. Help me. That's why I'm an activist. Because I have the choice. You have the choice. You have the choice. You have the choice of how you want to treat your temple, your core, your being, who you are. Whether it's medicinal for your health or just because you like taking naps and snacks and such. And chatty conversations with strangers like me. Hey, how's it going? What's up? So, I'm really excited that I get to be an activist today, that I get to educate myself, that I get to educate my son, I get to educate my mother, I get to educate people in my community and tell them, whoa, 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 whoa. Before you throw out your negative connotations and your harsh words and the stigmas of lazy, failure, not good enough, unworthy. What's the criminal word for offender? Ouch! I'm not an offender. Cucumbers, cannabis, tomatoes, collard greens, what? Hold on. I'm not an offender. I get to choose. And being an activist, I get to educate. And a part of educating says that I saw something very beautiful on what I call Facebook now, the face space. Because where do our faces spend most of their space? Face space. Anyway, sorry. I'm an adult child. Yay! So I saw something beautiful in the faith space recently where a gentleman said very eloquently that, when are they going to legalize marijuana? They aren't going to. You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to. I have to. My mother has to. The hand on its own is a great tool, a great resource. It does awesome things, but the hand without the arm, not as effective. But if we work together as the hand, as the arm, as the mind, as the spirit, as a community, as people that go, hey, I want to be able to choose what I put in my body as a medicine, as an alternative, as a healthy source. Oh, you want to do that too? Okay, let's hang out. Hey, let's go have some coffee. You don't drink coffee? Okay, let's have some tea. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Hey, you want to do that too? Cool. So what happens? We begin to educate one another. We begin to find a camaraderie, a bond, a connective tissue that we identify with one another because we are people, helping people, educating people. What a beautiful concept. Why not be an activist? Why not go help someone else who's in need? Because I personally don't know what my medical history lies ahead. I don't know what yours does. Or my sister, your uncle, your grandmother, your school teacher, your bus driver, your principal, your bartender, your manager. You don't know, but everybody should have the right and the ability to choose. Wow. Everybody has the right to choose. But I'm really grateful that I have an opportunity to be an activist. I would like to introduce our very next speaker behind me, another young lady that's new to the scene. She's been around since the beginning of the year, and she's got beautiful shoes. Every time I see her, she's got these beautiful shoes. I just said I'm an adult child, right? Shiny things. Hey, look, they shiny. All right, so everyone, please, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. If you'd like to know more about activism and educating yourself and getting to know me, I'm here all night. Not really. Thank you. My name is Akila, and ladies and gentlemen, Brittany.
Speaking of shoes, I'm going to take this chair. Because why stand when you can sit? Working smarter, not harder. Ooh, it's bright. Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany. How's everybody doing? Oh, hey, I feel like I'm in group therapy right now. My name's Brittany. I had an eating disorder. How's everyone doing? It's actually why I believe in legalizing marijuana. A little backstory. Let me tell you about how fun this is if you've never dealt with this before. So I developed an eating disorder when I was about 12 years old. Didn't really get much help until I was about 17. In that time, I was hospitalized for not being able to take a poo because my involuntary muscles decided to stop working because they were never being used. Those are really bright. I was losing my hair. I was having palpitations to the point where my doctor said I was going to have cardiac arrest. Vomiting to the point where I was rupturing my esophagus and vomiting nothing up but blood, even though I had a stomach full of food. And it was a nightmare. Getting a little emotional about it. And, I go to the doctor. It was always a very callous treatment they would give you. They'd say, okay, here's a script for an antidepressant. We don't really know what causes this, so let's hope it's a serotonin issue. Turns out it's not. Got sent to the hospital for serotonin syndrome. SSRIs are very dangerous. They can kill you. That musician, what's his name, Nick Cave, died of the same thing. They started giving me anti-anxieties. They made me hallucinate and hear sounds that weren't there. They gave me fluvoxamine, which is no longer on the market because of how dangerous it is. That one didn't actually do too many terrible things. The worst thing that it did to me, which I guess actually is quite detrimental, is it didn't stop me from making myself ill. It just created a dissociation between the harm I was doing to myself and thinking about that harm. So it made it easier to slip into what eventually became the lifestyle that is an eating disorder. It wasn't out of the norm for me. And this carried on until I went to college. And I had a friend who lived on the floor with me, and it's very hard to hide that you have an eating disorder when you share a hallway and a bathroom with several females. And she had gone through the same thing, and she sat me down the hallway. I was 19, and she said, you need to smoke this. I took 2 bowls full out of a bong. I had excellent lung capacity, and I blacked out. I woke up, And I had one of these strangest realizations in my life. Everything was very clear. And she helped me with dosing, and she helped me, get connected and all this kind of stuff. And it was like patients with epilepsy. It just stopped. It just stopped. It gave me that space where normally the medication doctors were giving me, I would dissociate. It gave me the opportunity to fix myself some food before I smoked. I could trust the food in front of me. I could smoke. And then I had that moment of awareness where I could say, you know what? This is what you're doing to yourself. Look at your freaking lymph nodes. They look like you have hard-boiled eggs under there. Look at the broken blood vessels. Look at how transparent your teeth are. You can probably see through them right now. Like, look what you're doing to yourself. And it stopped. And then I started to use it daily, right before bed, use it in the morning. And I kept that from everybody for like almost 10 years. I'm 29 now. I didn't come public. I didn't get out of the closet until last year because by trade, I'm an educator. If you say anything about that, goodbye. There goes your livelihood. Now what are you going to do? And I did it in private. I wasn't happy with myself about it. I felt guilty about being healthy. I felt guilty about taking ownership of my own health. Because who am I to say what's best for me? Some stranger over there has more say in my life than I do. That's not acceptable. And I'll tell you the point where it really started to create a sea change for me, where I was like, I have to take a stand, is when I got into admin in education. And I was sitting in on these CPS meetings because teachers were calling CPS on their students because their students were just simply mentioning the word marijuana. And here I am with this parent who's talking about, I support legalization, but you can't talk about this in school because it'll bring this kind of situation up. And I'm sitting on the other side of the table saying, you know what, that's right, you can't talk about it, it's inappropriate. And I had students who went through the same thing I was going through. I couldn't say anything, even though I knew the regimen these kids were going through. All these different instances. Couldn't say anything. And I became so disgusted with myself. So disgusted. You know? I quit my job. Did that. I moved to Austin. I found these people. What up?
Love you, Brittany!
Oh, girl. Ooh, I love you too.
Yeah!
And yeah, girl, yeah. And I mean, it just came to the point, like how teacher of a thought is this? If you are privately doing something and then publicly admonishing it, you're a part of the problem. If you are privately doing something and then being silent about it publicly, you're a part of the problem. And that's not good enough. It's not good enough. You know? And I know a lot of people are afraid of losing their job, all that kind of stuff. You won't lose your job if you go talk to your representative. No one has to know. You know, we got to help other people who can't help themselves. We got to help people who aren't courageous enough to take that stand. That's why I support it. Because I was being an asshole, smoking weed on the sly, and then telling kids you're going to grow up thinking the same bullshit that I was taught. That's not acceptable. So, my loves. It's a fight, man. You got to get up there and you got to speak. And it's going to take some of us a little bit longer than others, which is exactly why when you feel like you're ready to take that stand, you take it. Because you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for someone else. You're doing it for a kid who doesn't have rights like we do, who's got epilepsy, who's got whatever problem going on with them. You're doing it for adults who are too afraid to research alternative medicine because they're afraid that somebody at work's going to find out and they're going to lose their livelihood. You're doing it for parents who are afraid to take care of their own health for fear of losing their own children. Yeah. So my friends, you got to speak out. No shame. No shame. My family was very conservative. Let me just throw that out. My family very conservative. When I went into high school, I was getting drug tested like every couple of weeks. It was just a part of being in that high school. It wasn't because I did anything. And I thought my parents were going to be really, really angry with them when I said, I smoke weed. That's what healed me. Yeah. My mom was like, thank God. Thank God you found something that works for you. So if you're afraid of coming out to people, you might be surprised. So, and with that, I pass the mic on to Preston. Ooh, Preston. Thank you, guys. Thanks. You guys. So here's Preston. He has been with Norml for many years. He has been the historian since 2015, and he does all of our beautiful graphics. So whenever you see something pretty pop up on Facebook, that's all his doing. There you go.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, Brittany.
So I guess the one main pet peeve of mine is hypocrisy. You say one thing and you do another. So with the government, as I started smoking in college and watching the documentaries, I started to be like, holy bleep, I'm being lied to. This is not a dangerous drug. DARE was wrong. You know, Red Ribbon Week is a joke. So, you know, I started just indulging myself into this research, becoming obsessed with it in college, like to the point where, yeah, I might have failed a few classes because I was just so into it. Got my act back together, of course. But I started to realize that we're on the brink of this wave of legalization, and I wanted to be a part of it. It was the new prohibitionist movement.
A little louder, please.
All right. For the up there we are. I wrote some stuff down just so in case I forgot it, because, you know, short-term memory and stuff. So as I started to get into this and kind of talk to my parents about it and be like, well, it's not that bad. My parents are old school Baptist. Anything you put into your body that's the government deems illegal is wrong. So I started talking to them, and finally I had to come out of the greenhouse and tell them, hey, look, yes, I do smoke weed. And yes, I do think it should be legal because it's not as bad as alcohol. It's not as addictive. So as we start arguing, it got to the point of their argument is, well, it's just illegal. So then I joined Norml. So then I could tell them, well, I'm working on it. So as an adult, I pivoted from being a developer to a designer. And I now use cannabis, sativa, in order to concentrate and focus when I'm developing websites and designing. I'm fortunate enough to work at home in order to do that. So the reason why is because all my life I have been battling ADHD. And I finally found something that would not take over my life, like Adderall or Ritalin, and that I can just smoke it, concentrate for 2 hours, get my work done, we're good. That is probably one of my personal reasons to be in this fight. The other is because I've seen how much it works with other people. My friend Vincent, he was always he was using it in order to help alleviate pain, and I could see that with him. There's so many other people that I've seen that just it helps alleviate that. It's time to tell the world the truth. It's time to get it in their thick skulls that this is wrong. It's all based on lies. Let's change it. I was on another subject. I was talking to my mom last night, and I was telling them about armchair activism and how that's so rampant now on Facebook. And I'm so glad everyone here is here because you're out of your armchair. You're not just whining on Facebook or any social media. You're out here, you're wanting to change the laws. So I thank you all for coming. And I can't wait for this next legislation session. Thank you.
Thank you, Preston. Appreciate it. So, talking about doing something, everybody's either going to vote by Friday or vote next Tuesday, right? And then, yes, that's right. Because I'm sure you all are registered, you're responsible civic duty type people. So then you're going to follow up voting with the election night party at the Belmont, where we're going to have free entry, complimentary food, cash bar, silent auction, all that. You're all going to be there, right? Yeah, because it's going to be a great party. And then we're going to have a Veterans Day parade on Friday, November 11th, where it's going to have been officially a year since we started our Veterans Initiative, Operation Trapped. Very important initiative. Some of you guys sound very familiar with it. David Bass, our Director of Veteran Outreach, who could not be with us tonight, he originated this idea where we collect signatures. Hey, Paul, where'd you come from? sorry, where we're collecting signatures to a letter that he wrote, and we're going to deliver the signatures to the governor. So we're arranging a meeting for that now, well, to his office, so we're working out those details. But so far we have well over 1,000 veterans who have signed on to the letter. So that is an amazing job. We really appreciate that. And then we're also doing a pill bottle collection for Operation Trapped, where we're having veterans turn in a bottle with some information on it, and we're going to be displaying it at this after the Veterans Day parade at a press conference we're having. And it's a very symbolic thing, you know. Some of these veterans feel trapped by pharmaceuticals or by different things that they have to take, and they either want to supplement or substitute cannabis for that. And so that has a really powerful message with legislators, and we're very happy that the veterans are coming together and working really strongly with patients so that we can get things like PTSD, chronic brain, TBI, all listed as conditions, and make sure that we have a quality whole plant cannabis program for people. Patients need safe access, so it's super important. So we're going to be doing the march and the parade, right, up Congress. We're going to be announced to the governor and all the people at the Capitol. Hey, Governor Abbott! I'm going to just say no. That's a strong no. So they're going to announce us, and last year we had people join us as we were marching down the street because they were moved. They wanted to start marching with us, and there were active duty military and veterans who all wanted to take pictures with our sign. And afterwards, we held the press conference kicking off Operation Trapped. So after the parade, we're going to be holding another press conference by the Vietnam Veteran Memorial. And we're going to have some veterans discussing why they use cannabis and why they want to talk to the governor about this issue. And then we're going to break out into, there's going to be media there, probably doing stories on that. Yep, it's about time. So we're excited that it's going to be a year of Operation Trapped, and we're going to continue working on that because we're actually going to be displaying the bottles not only at the press conference on Friday the 11th, but also for a medical marijuana exhibit that we're going to have at the Capitol in the hearing hallway. We're going to have a whole portion of it dedicated to veterans and Operation Trapped. So it's historic, really, what these veterans are doing. Continuing their service, for sure. And then another thing you can do to be involved with the direct action is on Wednesday, November the 16th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., we're going to be flyering the Capitol. We're doing this every other Wednesday. We are creating information pages that are pertinent to the issues that we're really pressing for in this upcoming legislative session, and we're distributing them to every single legislator's office. And so we've had between 4 and 6 volunteers, 4 and 8 volunteers come and help with us each day that we've done that. And it actually is pretty quick work. I mean, 2 hours maybe, would you say? 1 hour? I mean, you probably drive and park is longer than, the time you take there. But it's really important because what we're doing is we're breaking stereotypes. We have these professional people coming up there and discussing, cannabis and leaving some information. It's not a lot of conversation. It's mostly dropping it off, but we really definitely need help. So on Wednesday, November 16th from 1 to 3, we will meet in the legislative library, and then we'll pass out the educational information to every office. So join us for that. And recently we started a cancer support group for women, and we've had some really great meetings. And there's going to be a Thanksgiving meeting where they're going to just be talking about some of the new therapies that they've maybe found for themselves and what they're grateful for the year. And that meeting is going to be on Saturday, November 19th. From 10:15 to 11:45 at the Millwood Library. So if any of your lady loved ones have cancer and would like to participate, I've been hearing really great feedback from the women that have been going. So I encourage them to participate with that. And then we will be back here in December at the Flamingo Cantina. Do you guys like Flamingo? It's pretty awesome. Especially when the weather is this good, am I right? So those are the events, and that's only for the next month. So clearly, like, we do nothing. Just kidding. We're super busy. So join us at the Capitol and join us for the election night party, because that's going to be really awesome. And we're going to have comedy coming up here in just a second. Are you ready? Are you ready for some comedy? No, we're going to do comedy, but I'll talk to you in just a second. Come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to laugh?
What's up, everybody? Give it up for Jax. How you feeling? Good to see you. You know, my job as a host of the comedy show is like bring everybody up to my energy level, but